Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with a knife review for you. Today, we have the Kershaw Skyline XL available exclusively from Blade HQ. How this knife happened? Well, Kershaw makes the Skyline, which is extremely popular. It is a USA-made model, which has a 3.25-inch blade, well, less 3.125-inch blade, overall length of 7.375 inches. I'm reading this from the site because I don't actually have one, with Sandvik steel. Very, very popular knife. One of their most popular knives, known for it has a liner lock on one side and G10 on the other. As this XL designation would indicate, this one is larger, 20% larger, according to Blade HQ. I'm not going to check their math because I'm bad at math, so I'm just going to trust them with that. But the difference is this has 8CR13 MOV steel and is made in China. So this is one of the rare instances where the bigger one is cheaper than the smaller one. The bigger one is about $50. This is about $40. So kind of weird there. I thought that was kind of an interesting, odd choice. I went to go look for a Skyline. I was actually going to buy it for a comparison test thing, and then I thought, no, and then I saw this. I'm like, oh, that's new and interesting. I'll get that. It does come in multiple colors. It comes in either this version, which is the stonewash with the black handles, or, make sure I get all these right, we have the green handles with the same stonewash blade, black handles with a black wash blade, green handles with the DLC black coating, or this one. So that's the versions it comes in. And all of them, I think, look pretty good aesthetically. I like the way the original Skyline looked, and the XL is just a bit bigger, so it still looks really good. I like the stonewash finish. I like the pocket clip looks good. There's and also the quality is very good. I have not had an American-made Skyline, but I've had a lot of American-made Kershaws, and can't really tell much of a difference in this one. Obviously, the steel is a little lower quality, but other than that, I really can't tell much of a difference. You have a nice open construction, very easy to blow out. This is not skeletonized at all because this is the liner lock side, and this one you don't need to skeletonize anything because there ain't nothing there. So, yeah. I very much like the aesthetics and the quality of it. I think for the purpose that it is, which is to be a pretty big knife, I think they've nailed the aesthetics. It looks slightly tactical, but not crazy so. So yeah, I really think they nailed the aesthetics, and I'm very happy with the quality of it, especially for a Chinese-made Kershaw. Kershaw knows how to make a budget knife, and this is another just complete proof of that. Have no complaints there whatsoever. Let's get in the actual full-on specs of this sucker. Get all the boring stuff out of the way for all you spec nerds. We have, again, these are all 1-inch squares. We have an overall length of 8 3/4 inches, blade length of 3 3/4 inches, so pretty big. Cutting edge is a bit less. The cutting edge is about 3.62 inches because it has the flipper and this very nice sharpening choil, which I will mention later. And we have a handle length of 5 inches and a handle thickness of only 0.46 inches, which is pretty nice for a knife this big. This is a big-ass knife with a fairly slim handle. We have the blade thickness is also pretty slim, 0.12 inches. So with a nice little swedge there. Let's do some size comparisons. Let's compare it to some other stuff before we get going. So we're going to compare it to, here's a knife I just recently reviewed. Probably, I don't know how I'm uploading these. I'm looking into the future, but I think I'm going to upload this one first. This is the Spyderco Mannix 2 Backlock, which is another big sturdy knife in the same kind of vein. A knife that very much compares to this is the Ontario Rat Model 1. This is the AUS 8 version, but I have a D2 one arriving imminently, and we'll have much more of a comparison between these two because price-wise, they're more comparable. This is a bit less. The D2 is almost exactly the same price as this, so I think that's going to be a pretty cool comparison video you got coming up. And I'm going to throw an extra wild card in there too that you guys are not going to expect. A 3-way comparison. And let's just do one more. Let's make it quick here. We're going to do the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, because a lot of people have Paramilitary 2s. It's a good reference. So it's bigger than a PM2. It's a big knife, is what I'm trying to get at. It's a big one. So, what else do we want to talk about? Let's move on to the blade. I already started to kind of touch it. It is 8CR13 MOV, as I've said multiple times. The stonewash finish is very nice. It is a fairly thin with 0.12, but it does have a fairly robust tip for that. It's a hollow grind with a kind of multiple edge bevel here. I like it. I like the blade design overall. It is like kind of a drop point design, but it's a very good, just purposeful all around. I'm sorry, I'm holding that off camera this whole time I'm talking about it. It's a very good all-purpose kind of general blade shape, and I have no complaints with that. The 8CR13 MOV may be kind of disappointing to some people, but this is always the thing with Kershaw. But Kershaw knows how to make a budget knife. Ergo, they really know how to work with 8CR13, and they do a great job with it. If you're going to get 8CR13, get it from Kershaw. They really know their heat treat. It holds a blade. The Kershaw 8CR13, in my experience, holds an edge better than AUS 8. Maybe not quite VG10 standards, but close to VG10 standards. They really know what they're doing with it. So if you're gonna get 8CR13, you get it in a Kershaw. And when you do have to sharpen it, it's so easy to sharpen. It's super easy to put a new edge on it, just strop it, or use the cheap sharpener. Even with those pocket things, you can get a decent edge back on it again, a good working edge on it in no time whatsoever. So, yeah, obviously, if I was comparing this against another knife, which I will be at some point, I have to knock it for the 8CR13, but not as much as you'd think, because it's a Kershaw 8CR13. Not all 8CR13s are created equal. Let's cut some stuff while we're talking about the blade. I usually do this at the end, but I don't know why I do. So let's cut some stuff. The edge is very good on this out of the box. It's not bad at all. It kind of caught there just a little bit, but I'm just doing a terrible job with this. This is not the knife's fault. There we go. Yeah. It's not the sharpest thing in the world. It's not, Spyderco sharp out of the box, but it's $40. So it's not Benchmade sharp out of the box, but for $40, it's pretty good. And if I just dropped this for, 3 minutes before I did the video, then it probably would have sliced a lot better, but I don't do that for my videos. I use them for a week or two, and then I use them as they are. But I can't really complain about that. It's actually fine. Let's talk about the ergonomics of this thing. The ergonomics on this thing are, in a word, awesome. It's really comfortable. I think that was the first thing I thought when I got this out of the box and I popped it open, and I just grabbed it in my hand, gave it a good squeeze like I often do to try and look for hot spots. There are zero hot spots. It's very good ergonomically. That flipper tab is very good to keep you, if your hand's not going to slip up or anything like that. And it's kind of, a natural block to make you so your finger doesn't slide up. The G10 is that perfect amount of grippy without being so bad that it's going to tear your pants up. The only ergonomic thing I have on it is that I do kind of wish that it had some jimping up here. That's about it, because it's a big knife, and I like my big knives to have some jimping so that you can choke up a little bit, and if you have to do some fine stuff, you can. Other than that, no ergonomic complaints. It's a very comfortable knife. It's very, very good. Not as good as like a Mannix 2 or a Cutjack or something like that, but it's pretty darn good. Now, deployment, I was also pleasantly surprised with, because it's a flipper, and it is not ball bearings, runs on bushings, but still flips great. No problems at all there. It's not like a fidgetable knife. But it is a little bit. It kind of is, because the blade's so heavy that you can. It does shake close pretty easy. Like, look at that. That wasn't hard. So it's pretty cool. I've been playing with a lot of Chinese ball bearing flippers lately. It wasn't intentional. It's just the way that the schedule worked out, and it's not as fun to play with as those. But it ain't far off. Running on bushings, that's pretty good. I actually feel like it feels on bushings almost as good as a cut jack does. Not quite as good as the Chinese cut jacks that run on bushings, but it's close. And don't confuse me. I'm not talking about the Italian ones with the ball bearings. I'm talking about the Chinese D2 ones. It's pretty close. So, yeah, because I have for instance, I have one right here. I have a Modus. So let's see how it compares to the Modus. Yeah, the Modus it flips a little easier, but not dramatically so. And this also has the option to deploy it with thumb studs. And on this particular knife, a lot of times when you get a flipper and thumb stud, the thumb studs are ornamental only. They are like my nipples. They're just there for your entertainment. They're not really very useful, but they work really great on this. You do have to give it just a hint of a flick when you open it from the thumb studs, but a lot of room to grab them. Very well shaped. I really like the deployment on this. It's very, very good. I've always felt bigger knives are always easier to deploy than smaller ones because they do have, physics. There's a bigger blade, and once you get it swinging, it swings open. Let's talk about carrying it. The carry on it is tip up, tip down, right hand only. I'm not going to complain about that because it is a liner lock, and a lot of lefties have a hard time with liner locks anyway, so I'm not going to complain about that very much. But I did initially, when I got it, immediately took this clip off, put it in the tip up configuration because I thought that would be better. It isn't because when you do that, you've got this much sticking out. So that was immediately realized that was a bad decision. Carry it tip down, guys. Just trust me on this. It carries fairly low. It's not bad at all. It's gonna be sitting in your pocket, if you're looking down like this. It is a bit of a pocket dominator. It's not crazy, but you could get past it to get something out. But don't put anything in here in your pocket with this knife that you're going to want to regularly access. It's a big knife. I think you guys know that. I think people buying this knife aren't thinking about it. I want to put it in my pocket with my wallet and my keys and my vape pen. It's in my Tamagotchi or whatever the hell it is that you're carrying around. Tamagotchi, that's an old-timey reference. But yeah, you're not gonna put a lot else in the pocket with this. But when it is in your pocket, it is fairly slim, so it is fairly comfortable to carry. It is comfortable, is what I'm trying to say. It's comfortable to carry, but it's going to take up most of that pocket. So as long as you have no other plans for that pocket, it's actually a really decent, easy knife to carry. So I think that just brings us to my conclusion on this, which is, this is just a good, solid $40 knife. If you want a big $40 knife, it's a very, very good choice. There are lots of others now in that price range, but not many in this big, not many in over 3.5 inch blade length. It seems like a lot of choices in this blade range stop at 3.5, except, your Rat Model 1. So, and Bird Cara 2. So there are some other ones that are this big for that price, but not many. And this is a good choice, especially if you just like Kershaw or you particularly like Blade HQ, which you should. Blade HQ was awesome. I really like it. It was kind of an impulse buy because I was going to buy the regular Skyline, and I decided to get the XL, and I'm kind of glad I did. It's very cool. Very nice knife for $40. I give it 2 thumbs up. Very much enjoyed it. Ergonomically awesome. Carries well. As far as 8CR13 goes, very good blade steel. Very good blade shape. So, hope you guys found this informative. As always, I've been Brian. Have a good one.